As many of you guys will know, Uma Musume has absolutely taken over the global scene recently. The game has gone absolutely cataclysmic. It has just exploded everywhere. And with that has been a renewed interest in not just the Uma Musume series, which I highly recommend, but with this rise in popularity of the mobile game, has came an unexpected side effect, and that is interest in the actual horses, their stories, their lives. And I'm going to be completely honest, it's made me a little bit curious about it as well. So I thought I'd take this chance to do my own bit of research, thanks to this video provided by Priz? I'm not too sure how to pronounce your name, my apologies. But he has done a video on Rice Shower. Now Rice Shower, for me, she was done so dirty in the anime. It is actually frustratingly unreal how dirty she was done in the anime. So when this popped up on my feed, it got me a little bit curious to see the actual tale of what actually happened. The real story of Rice Shower. So I'm curious to see her stories, her actual races, and her actual timeline. So that is the video that we're going to watch today. Rice Shower, a tragic tale of hope and hardship. So let's get straight into the reaction, guys. Let's go.
What does it mean to win? In Uma Musume, it means placing first in your race, besting the competition.
I mean, that's a pretty straightforward definition, so yeah, sure.
Other times, someone can challenge their position, upsetting the odds and emerging victorious. But what happens when this individual fears the results of winning? Instead of embracing victory, she rather shies away from it. In finding strength to win against all odds, she is instead saddened by the dreams of others she's tarnished. And Uma with a pure heart, who truly wants to see everyone happy, even at the cost of her own. This is the story of Rice Shower, personified in Uma Musume from a tragic story of real-life events. Rice Shower is a racehorse named after the tradition of rice throwing at weddings in Japan, a symbol of good luck in Japanese culture. His first race was on August 8, 1991.
So this is the actual Rice Shower.
Rice Shower would place first in this race, instantly captivating an
look at her
audience
go.
of onlookers. Though his second race would end at the back of the pack, the next race Rice Shower participated in on September 21, 1991, would be another victory for the newcomer. This time, Rice Shower claimed victory at the 1991 Fuyo Stakes. Hold on.
1991. Is that how far back we're going for some of these Umas? 30 years ago, 30
now,
plus.
You may be thinking to yourself,
Jesus.
This seems like a simple story of a new racehorse building an audience by seizing victory. Though, you're not wrong in this statement. It's the career wins that come next that will make Rice Shower infamous in the racing world. From October 1991 to 1992, Rice Shower competed in a total of 6 additional races, placing second or below at each one. It would be at the Kika show race held in Kyoto that would shake the racing world in Japan. Just like in Uma Musume, the real-life counterparts also had a hierarchy of favoritism on who would come out on top. For this race, held on November 8, 1992, Rice Shower was the second favorite to win. The favorite of the Kika show was Mihono Bourbon, the retail-based racehorse with an undefeated race history up until this point. From Bourbon's debut in 1991 up until the Kika show, he remained a strong pillar, a hometown hero for the Kyoto area. Rice Shower, having trained in the East,
I didn't realize that.
as an invader from Kanto, a narrative driven by the media mainly to drum up drama and hype around the highly anticipated race.
So this wasn't explicitly said in the anime, probably for, it didn't really add context to the story there, but I didn't realize that it was the hometown race for Mihono Bourbon, and that Rice was coming from, where did he say? Kanto, somewhere in the Kanto region. So that adds a little bit more depth to the story, I think.
Even in the anime, all the Umas may have
of why maybe
but the
underdog story
This is another
didn't hit the way it normally does.
All the coverage of this race garnered countless eyes of the hometown hero versus the foreign invader. I've tried to find footage of this race in particular, but all that remains are records of the final outcome. Rice Shower would upset all odds, placing first in the Kika show. This would come as a major blow to fans of the fan favorite, Mihono Bourbon. For context, Bourbon had competed in a total of 4 races previously against Rice Shower, placing first in every single one. So it comes as no surprise that he'd be the fan favorite at the Kiko show. This would also be Bourbon's final race in their career, ending an undefeated legacy shattered by an invader from the East. an overall race record of 7-1 over the course of 8 races total.
Hold on, so obviously again in the anime it doesn't exactly go over this too much. So that was Bourbon's last ever race, was the loss to Rice. So this is adding a lot more context to me. This is making it extremely more interesting to hear about. So she had to retire after this race as well, which they did cover slightly in the anime, but...
After the major upset of the Kiko show, Rice Shower raced in 3 more competitions from December 1992 to March 1993. Aside from the Nikkei show, held on March 21, 1993, Rice Shower would have an unremarkable performance after defeating Bourbon. Then, the sun rose over the Kyoto racetrack once more on April 25, 1993. Just like before, Rice Shower was seen as the second favorite to win this race.
Is this
once again bested
McQueen?
By popular vote by another Rito racehorse. This time, on the same race course that Rice Shower defeated Bourbon on, he'd be racing against Mejiro McQueen. This race is actually depicted in the anime,
Yeah.
and truly personifies the reason why Rice Shower acts the way she does both in the series and in Uma Musume Pretty Derby.
So is McQueen from
If you
Kyoto
haven't
as well?
played Rice Shower, I'll give it to you as simply as I can.
It's frustrating as
It is
shit.
incredibly difficult to train.
It's
Rice
so
Shower in the
frustrating.
anime is very hard on herself and sees any misfortunes that fall on others as a fault of her own. There are events in the game where she'll attribute any negative happening to anyone as her own personal fault. Even with her outwardly kind-hearted exterior and determination to win, instead of cheers, the audience remained a distant murmur. Rice Shower, when racing against McQueen in the Tenno show, would once again upset all odds, toppling yet another racehorse with an impressive track record. Though not as impressive as Bourbon's, McQueen had claimed several first-place finishes and had risen to being a fan favorite. To many, McQueen was the one who toppled the invader from the east who stole Bourbon's final win. This race, once again, is shown in full in the anime. As another fun fact, Uma Musume actually adapts the real-life lines from commentators of the race.
The assassin
To
from
say this was
Kanto.
a major upset would be a drastic understatement. It
Such
was
a cool
devastating
nickname.
blow to
That's
the
a
pride of
really
the
cool
West.
nickname.
Not once, but twice, had Rice Shower assassinated the victory of the hometown heroes he raced against. This earned Rice Shower the nickname Black Assassin, and began the solidification of his infamy on the racetrack. In the anime, fans comment on how Rice Shower will be the heel once again, directly taking inspiration from real-life events. Rice Shower, both in Uma Musume and in real life, is often labeled as a heel who shattered others' dreams. In the anime...
See, that's fucking annoying. I'm just going to straight... Because this is something that actually genuinely angered me in the anime. When do you ever see the underdog actually vilified and hated for winning against the bigger names? Yet, in this series of events, that is exactly what happened. And that annoyed me so much when I watched the season 2 the first time around and the second time around recently when I was just rewatching it to get back up to speed with the new movie and a recaps series. Rewatching it now still irritates the shit out of me, honestly.
States mid-race that she won't be the heel, but instead, the hero. With this, Rice Shower
In the
passes
Kokoro.
McQueen with the final
Right
sprint
in the
of
Kokoro.
race, taking victory over yet another fan favorite. The audience didn't cheer, didn't clap, but instead began booing Rice Shower. Distant murmurs can be heard of a disappointed audience who were unsatisfied with the final outcome. Rice Shower, in the anime, had set a record time, which also reflects real-life events once more. Despite the record-setting race, and the amazing performance, Rice Shower received nothing but glaring eyes from the audience. Though McQueen and a few others clapped for her in the anime, it can't shake the feeling Rice has from taking yet another person's dream away from them. When retreating away from the racetrack, Rice is clearly disheveled. She had won the race, but still had upset thousands of people who were there to witness her loss. The beautiful thing about Uma Musume is how they show the next scene. It isn't a random trainer nor Uma that comes to comfort Rice. It is instead Mihono Bourbon, the very same one who Rice defeated at the Kika show. Instead of glorifying her own win, Rice Shower is completely devastated.
Don't you start getting me going. Don't you get me going. Don't you get me going.
たくさんの夢を壊してしまいました。それが勝つということです。 勝負ですからね。誰かが勝てば誰かは傷つき夢破れる、そういうものです。ブーイングって痛いですね。やっぱり痛かったです。ブーイングはチャレンジャーの勲章です。傷つく必要はありません。でもいつかこれが歓喜と祝福の声になる日は必ず来ます。あなたが勝ち続ければきっと。だってあなたの名前はライスシャワーなんですから。
My heart!
Even
My
after all the
heart!
effort she put into winning, all the countless hours she spent training, she felt guilty for toppling others'
It's one of my favourite scenes, by the way. Just in the entire Uma Musume series whatsoever, it's one of my favourite scenes.
dreams. In every race that we run with our Umas, that's something else to think about. With the victory you claim, it shatters the hopes of another. This is the reality of competition, as Bourbon states. In the anime, Rice Shower and Bourbon are actually very close friends, and the spirit of competition is only present when they're on the racetrack. It's an uplifting choice of direction to depict these two being so close despite the major upset that came with Bourbon's defeat. Though this is a beautiful ending in the animated Rice Shower story, the real-life counterpart of this Uma had a far sadder ending. Following the 10
here we go.
Rice Shower would continue
Here we
to
go.
race, but would have an unremarkable placement for the next 9 races he participated in, ranging from September of 1993 to March of 1995. This only solidified Rice Shower's image of ruining greatness due to his major wins being upsets like McQueen's and Bourbon's. Then came yet another major event in Rice Shower's career. On April 23rd of 1995, Rice Shower competed in the Spring Tenno Show, once more on the very same racetrack where Rice shattered the dreams of many. During this time, the Kansai region had been recovering from a devastating Hushin earthquake which occurred in January. A mourning region watched as Rice Shower began the race at the Spring Tenno Show. At the final spurt, once more, Rice Shower seized another victory in the Kyoto racecourse. Instead of receiving silence and boos, this time, Rice Shower was greeted with the applause and outward cries of the audience. This victory meant a lot for the Kansai region, and stood as a source of hope and inspiration for a grieving region. With the legacy that began in upset, Rice Shower now has solidified himself as a hero.
I wish we saw that in the anime. I really wish we saw that in the anime.
In the宝塚記念race. Due to unstable conditions at the Hushin racecourse, the宝塚was moved to Kyoto, the place where Rice Shower had been both a savior and a spoiler. Previously, Rice Shower, as per their handler's choice, were planning to retire him after the Spring Tenno Show. However, seeing the public support of the racehorse caused them to reconsider. So, on June 4th, 1995, Rice Shower would take the racecourse once more. With countless fans supporting him, Rice Shower and his jockey, Matoba, planned to give it their all once again. Sadly though, this would be Rice Shower's final race, and the final time anyone would see Rice Shower alive.
Oh,
Matoba,
come on.
Rice Shower's jockey, stated following this race that he could sense something was off. This was not the time to win, but to instead tread lightly. The safety of Rice Shower was his top priority. However, Rice Shower had other plans in mind. As
The trainer sounds like a good guy.
Shower at the back of the pack. After the third turn, he suddenly accelerated by himself. This resulted in Rice Shower tripping, sending Matoba off the horse. As the race continued, one of the most tragic outcomes unfolded for this newfound hero. Rice Shower had suffered a comminuted fracture on his front leg and foot, as well as a dislocation. In most cases, horses are moved off the racetrack and tend to away from the racecourse. Sadly, the injuries were too severe to even move Rice Shower, and so a curtain was placed around Rice Shower, and he was euthanized on the very racetrack that made him a hero. Matoba, though injured, remained by Rice Shower, witnessing the whole process unfold. When Rice Shower's body was carried away, Matoba bowed deeply for his longtime partner. Rice Shower's groom, Kawashima, could not stop crying at the sudden loss. A symbol of hope who brought many newfound inspiration, had been snuffed out at the very same racetrack which garnered him so much love and hatred. Unsurprisingly, Rice Shower's death became the headline news in Japan's sports, and several monuments were created in honor of him. One in Utopia Farm, where Rice Shower was born, and the other at the Kyoto racecourse. At the end of the year in 1995, the JRA gave a special award to Rice Shower, commemorating the racehorse, and in 2010, Kikasho was also renamed to the Rice Shower Memorial. Fans gathered to this day to pay their respects to Rice Shower, displaying their gratitude and mourning his loss. Though Rice Shower sadly met a tragic demise, the legacy of this racehorse lives on both in the hearts of his dedicated fans and personified as a kind-hearted Uma in Uma Musume. So the next time Rice Shower gives you a little trouble while training, keep this video in mind. The legacy of this horse is shaped after one of many ups and downs. This was the story of Rice Shower, a racehorse forever remembered by many in Japan, one who both stole dreams and inspired them, who invoked hatred and hope.
Damn you. Damn you, Uma Musume. How well written and everything is the series to make me feel so emotional about a racehorse I know nothing about through the medium of animated anime waifu horse girls. How absolutely insane is that as a sentence? Where I am genuinely depressed hearing the actual real life story of Rice Shower. The one positive I can take from this is the part that they sadly did not include in the anime. Was the third win for the Kansai region, where she was actually greeted as a hero. I wish we could have seen that. That would have been the perfect arc for Rice, but obviously that series was McQueen and Teo. They probably had to keep it to finishing at the Anime Kinen. But it would have been nice to see. It would have been nice to see maybe in an OVA or something. Well, that's put my mood down a little bit. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say at the end of that. I would say normally if you've enjoyed this video, please leave some likes, maybe subscribe. I sincerely hope this is a video that you maybe didn't enjoy as much as my other content. If you do want to check out the other content for a pick-me-up, please do that. I'll leave those at the end of the video. But I've been Laverick, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Laverick out. Bye.